Yeah. Welcome to the fourth episode, right?
Number 4,
Yes, sir.
Big
Welcome
4.
to the fourth episode of the Poverty Franchise Podcast. I'm Ethan,
I'm Khalil, Thunder fan.
and today we're going to be talking about NBA playoffs, NFL rumors, and basically things that have been in the buzz recently, I guess.
Yeah, we've pretty much gone into every episode for like last 2 episodes with that same kind of plan. But I
Yeah.
guarantee to the people who are watching and are like, oh dang, they keep talking about the same things. It's not gonna be like that. Even as soon as Saturday hits, we're gonna have a lot more to talk about.
Mhm.
On Saturday, the NFL schedules drop, like the order drops. I know we know the games up to this point. We just don't know the order in which that happens, so that'll give us something to talk about. And then on Wednesday next week, I'm not gonna spoil it too much, but we have something big happening next Wednesday. So there's
It's
gonna
going to be
be
a
more
longer
content,
episode for
a,
sure.
a, a longer episode. Be ready for that. Make sure you have on post notifications and subscribe and things like that, just so you don't miss out on this episode or the episodes coming up, because I'm very excited for those two specifically. Plus, we're both gonna be on our way out of school, so
Yep.
we're gonna have more time to put into like the production value of the podcast and things like that. But on to the topics for today. As you said, it was NBA playoffs and NFL rumors.
Mhm.
I think it's best to just start with the NBA, huh? Because that's
Yeah.
the thing happening.
That makes most sense. Do you want to start off with Heat Sixers? They're
Yeah,
playing
because
right now,
that's the
but
series I'm least interested in. I'm not gonna lie
yeah.
to you. I don't know what it is, because I mean the Heat and the Sixers both have players that interest me. Like I like their players. Tyler Hero's cool to me. Joel Embiid is one of my favorite players in the league. James Harden, I don't really like
Mhm.
him as a person sometimes, and the way he's handled his situations in Brooklyn and Houston have rubbed me the wrong way. But I mean, he's a fun player to watch. Tyrese Maxey is cool to me. I just don't really feel too
I
interested in the
don't.
series. And I think part of that was just because that going into it, Embiid wasn't in the series. And now he's back, which is great and all. But it's just like it's hard to get invested into a series when you weren't invested in the first place.
Mhm.
Plus, Jimmy Butler is cool and all, but I don't really want to watch Jimmy Butler like that. Although he's been going crazy lately. He put up like near 40 in the last 2 days,
Yeah.
2 games. But pretty much a rundown of what's happened since the last episode. Embiid came back after we last recorded, right?
Yes.
So Embiid came back and they've won the last 2 games pretty much strictly because of the fact that the Heat cannot hit a three at the moment. Duncan Robinson still isn't playing. He's been out of the rotation since around March. Um, I, I mean, I get it because he's a bit one dimensional compared to
Mhm.
some of the other guards they have on the roster. But at some point, if you're just not hitting your threes, which has
He's
been
gonna need to get put in.
right, which has actually been a very common theme amongst teams in the last few games lately, which I think is really weird that everyone is just missing a bunch of threes at the moment. More on that specifically in the Grizzlies Warriors series because it was
Yeah.
really bad last night.
Oh, last night it was a bunch
Last
of
night it
threes.
was it was a brick fest, but specifically for this series, we seen Embiid come back from I don't what was the injury? It was like a concussion. He had a concussion and something else.
Concussion and what was it? Was it something with his
It's
nose?
something because he's wearing a mask, so it has to be something
Yeah.
with his face. Embiid injury. I want to know exactly what it is before I. What's it called? Embiid injury concussion protocol. Hmm. No one's
I know
gonna give
he
me.
wouldn't be wearing a mask because of
It has to be. It's
because
something with his face.
it has to be something.
Pretty
Yeah.
much what happened is Pascal Siakam elbowed him in the face in Game 6,
He
and
got
now
a
he.
right orbital fracture.
Okay, that's what it is. And then he also has the thumb thing going on, which he's still gonna have to get surgery for.
Yes.
So he's just beat up.
Torn ligament.
Yeah, he's playing
And
through
it's
a
gonna
lot right now. Currently, they are playing right now, though.
they're at
I had,
half.
yeah. Go ahead.
Heat's up 56 to 44.
So, is Harden playing well? Because I had it on in the background and
Um,
I didn't
I'm
really.
gonna get on that right now. Give me a second.
Yeah, gotta pull that up. But yeah, pretty much. I don't think. I mean, Embiid did come back earlier than expected. And I think I said that a few episodes ago. That my prediction as to where the series went kind of was based on the fact that I didn't think Embiid would be coming back until like this game right now, but
Mhm.
he came back a couple early, which of course had its impact. but I still think the Heat are the better team. And if they're hitting their threes, which it seems like today they actually are, they're shooting 38.9% rather than shooting 20 or whatever they shot the last couple games. They're going to be able to win the game because you cannot ask Jimmy Butler to put up 30 points a game and not really give him any help. I mean, Jimmy Butler can score. I'm not going to say he's like not a bucket or anything. I mean, his nickname is Jimmy Buckets, but like
Duncan played 5 minutes.
yeah, Duncan made his way back into the rotation, I guess. Kyle Lowry's back out of the lineup. I guess he might have re-aggravated his hamstring because I know he came back, but I guess they took him out of it.
I mean, the game that he came back, though, he wasn't doing that well.
Yeah, no, there's a whole highlight reel of him just missing shots. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I watched it.
It was 14 and a half.
14, 3, and 6. PJ Tucker with 8, 5, and 3 doing a little bit of everything. Max Strus 11, 1, and 6. I mean, Embiid's not playing particularly well. In 20 minutes, he has 6, 2, and 2, which, again, you would expect more from him.
I mean, he should pick up, though, eventually.
Yeah, I don't expect him to keep at this pace the whole game, but how funny would it be? Not funny, because I don't want to see another place like fail, but how ironic would it be if Embiid played one of the worst playoff games in his career the day that everyone is complaining about how he didn't win MVP? That would be wild. That would be wild. More on the MVP talk later, but for Sixers Heat, I mean, anything can happen. They're only down 12 at the moment, but like I think the Heat are probably gonna comfortably win this game.
I mean, this has always been the same issue for the Sixers. Like the first 2 games, they would be down and then get within double digits, and then they would eventually just lose it. Like they wouldn't be able to close that gap. The Heat's defense is just so good that they can maintain it, you know?
Right. Even if their offense isn't hitting, the Sixers' offense isn't going to be hitting either, really.
Like in the first quarter, the Heat scored 31 points compared to Philly's 19.
Right. Like, and I don't expect the Heat to put up no like 120, 130 points. They're not that kind of team, but I know they're going to play good defense.
Which is going to hold you from doing those 120, 110 points.
Right. Exactly. I still got Heat in 6. I mean, of course, there's a possibility of a 7 if the Sixers. Well, no, the next game would be in Miami. So game 6 would be in Miami, and then game 7 would be in Philly. So, I mean, if the Heat, of course, this is all assuming the Heat win tonight, because if the Heat lose tonight, I think there's a very good chance that the Sixers take it. I think it's all predicated on who wins this game. But assuming that the Heat do end up winning this game, I think it's going to be really hard for the Sixers to win a must-win game with an injured Embiid. Harden, who at this point is past his prime, no matter how you put it, he is past his prime.
He's lost a step.
He's definitely taken a step back.
Close.
And the place they're playing in this must-win game is Miami, which is one of the, I don't want to say hardest, but it's definitely one of the
best defensive teams.
And not one of the most fun teams to play at home. Like, you don't want to go play Miami at home. They always have, the crowd's always there. It's always loud. That's not a place I would personally.
It's just a winning culture.
Right. Even in the fan base, it's a winning culture. But yeah, to me, still Heat and 6.
Yeah.
But more.
He's going to be celebrating.
Yeah, he'll celebrate if they win this series, and then also celebrate if the Bucks win their series, because who knows what team he roots for. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about Heat Sixers. It's definitely the series I'm least invested in. No diss to the players in the series. I just don't really.
Do you want to go out west?
As long as we keep Warriors, Grizzlies, and Bucks, Celtics for last, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, so let's go Phoenix, Dallas.
Okay. So they play tonight, later.
Yeah.
Like an hour and 15 minutes as of recording. But I don't know.
Oh, also, I should probably say this. This episode is being recorded on a Tuesday, so I know the schedule is Wednesday, Saturday, and if we say something that doesn't line up with something that happens in the next 24 hours, it's because
probably outdated.
Yeah, it's just because that tomorrow I can't record. I have to go do something. So all day I'm going to be busy. I can't record, so we have to record this a day early. But go ahead and say what you wanted to say.
Okay, so I don't know. Like the Mavs, they have their players that need to step up,
Mhm.
and it happened. But Chris Paul just did horrible,
Yeah, Chris Paul in
which
the
helped
last
the
two
Mavs
games
in that.
has been
He's
not
been in
very good. We had a game,
regular Chris Paul playoff
right?
performance.
We had the game where he had 7 turnovers at halftime, which doesn't help. And then
And
we
then
had the
last game where he
game
fouled out in like 23 minutes.
he took 4 shots, he had 5 points, and he had 6 fouls.
Yeah.
More on that game to the fan who was harassing his mom and his wife. Yeah, not cool. They need to
Yeah.
get banned from the stadium because that is unacceptable. And the NBA definitely needs to do a better job of cracking down on the fans because it's been happening a bit in like the last couple of years. We had the incident where someone threw popcorn at Russell Westbrook, which was wild. Uh,
It's going to be rough to crack down on because you can't really predict what someone's going to do.
yeah, you can't predict what
But
someone is going to do, but
it's
they
just
just gotta,
the action after the event,
yeah, they gotta make sure that
the
they handle it
consequences that must
exactly.
be
The
implemented.
consequences. That's exactly what I mean. Because it's if you're gonna
Because
go
that's
to,
just
I'm right. Like it,
unmoral.
there's one. It's two different things to go out and support your team. Like it's cool to like boo a player, or talk trash to like opposing fans, but you
Mhm.
don't touch people's family. You don't even talk about people's family in the first place. Nevertheless, touch their family.
Yeah.
Like those are two different things. So that person needs to never be allowed into a, not even just Maverick Stadium. They don't need to be allowed to go to any NBA game. I'm not gonna lie
Mhm.
to you because that's unacceptable. Um, but more
How
on
those,
the,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. You go ahead.
I don't know how they're going to crack down on that though, because you can't
Mm.
really prevent someone from buying a ticket because
There's ways that you can be banned from the stadium. Like it's happened to people before. I don't know exactly the full process of it because, of course, as you said, there's no real way they can stop someone from buying a ticket.
yeah,
I think it's more of like a,
it's the matter of like letting them in or not.
I think it's like a legal thing. Like it's not amongst the
Oh,
NBA thing. You can
mhm.
get like a legit lawsuit that is like enforced by police and things
Okay.
like that.
Hmm.
But the NBA themselves can't stop someone from buying a ticket.
Yeah,
Uh,
because
so
it's their money and yeah,
you
that
know,
makes sense. What are your take or what is your take on
on the
Mavs?
actual game, pretty
The
much
series.
first 2 games, it was just like Luca, some Maxi Kleba, and that was about it. Last two games, we've seen first off poor Chris Paul play, so that doesn't help when one of your top 2 players is not playing very well. And then
Mhm.
we've also seen Maxi Kleba continue to step up. Davis Bertans was really good last night. Dorian Finney-Smith has been hitting his threes. Spencer Dinwiddie has been hitting his threes. They've just been sharp from three. When it comes to, I saw this stat when I was watching I think it's Rusty Buckets. I think that's the name of the YouTuber. He's a Bulls fan on YouTube.
Mhm.
But apparently, Dorian Finney-Smith, Maxi Kleba, and Davis Bertans are 3 of the top 4 3-point percentage shooters in the NBA. I don't know if you meant
Wow.
the playoffs or like the season, but yeah,
Hmm.
the Mavericks have been shooting lights out,
Hmm.
and I mean, I don't know if you can expect them to keep shooting lights out at the level they have because I think all 3 of those guys plus I'm forgetting
Hmm.
Spencer Dinwiddie, they're all shooting either above 35% or above 40%. Like it's something insane. Um,
Recently though, Spence hasn't been on it. He's been
yeah,
off.
in general, throughout the series, Spencer Dinwiddie hasn't been on anything, but the
Yeah.
last couple games, at least as far as hitting his threes go, he's been all right. And
Mhm.
I mean, if you can hit your threes is more than twos. And at the clip they're going, it's definitely
It's adding up.
helped. It's definitely adding up. I'm trying to find a specific score from
Although
us.
I am concerned for the Mavs because they don't have a true big man, and
Right,
that's obviously going to be an issue in the long run.
right.
But if they do match up against the Warriors, it wouldn't be bad. But
Yeah, because
if
Draymond
it's
ain't no
against,
center.
yeah,
It'll hypothetically, if they were to play against the Warriors, it would not if it's like hypothetically as in they win this series because of
mhm,
course with what just happened to John Morant, chances are the Warriors are going to the Western Conference
yeah,
Finals. But say they do end up beating the Suns and they do play the Warriors, they don't have a big, which won't be the issue against the Warriors. It's just a matter of if they can really like,
play defense against that team
yeah, which
because
is
they can
the
run a
issue for
drive.
every team.
Yeah, they can run a driving kick, which should be deadly.
Right. And then Luca, I mean, he ain't no good defender like that. So if they're gonna have to find a way to hide Luka on defense, which they sometimes do a pretty solid
Mhm.
job of. But in general, especially when you're
He's
playing the
not the guy you
Warriors,
would want on your best player.
right? Especially when you're playing the Warriors, all of your guys on the court need to be capable on defense. And Luka just sometimes he just doesn't have the foot speed to
Mhm.
keep up. That's what I noticed. He just seems kind of
Yeah.
slow on defense, and he moves a little wonky. But as far as this series, for Chris Paul to play as bad as he did, and for them to only win by 10, isn't the best because I mean, if their second best player has 5 points and fouls out, you would
Should
expect
really
to
blow them out.
blow them out. So I still don't see them winning the series, but it is nice that it's close. Like, just back to the 3-pointer thing, the Mavericks shots 20 for 44, which is 45% from three.
Oh my
They
gosh.
made 23s, which is 2 times as many as the Suns made last game. Yeah. The rebounding issue honestly wasn't even that bad last game. It was 37 to 44. Only 2 more offensive rebounds for the Suns. It was like the points in the paint thing was awful. Like they allowed 50 points in the paint. So pretty much whenever they wanted to score in the paint, they just could. But
Yeah.
I mean, hey, when you
It's
don't
more
have
than two.
a true rim protecting big like the Sun or like the Mavericks do, you're gonna allow points in the paint. So hopefully in free agency they can fill up that kind of role.
I
Uh,
mean, I think I see what they're trying to do, or what they're
mhm.
trying to do, because three is more than two.
Yeah,
Although they are giving two,
three
they're
is
also
more
hitting
than two. But if you can get a big who can at least rebound a little better than them and hit threes,
two.
yeah, someone that like fits the system but can also provide on the defensive side of the ball, then I think that would benefit them immensely.
Did I lie?
Hmm? Anyways, I
Okay.
think we're gonna.
You go to this one?
Yeah, your camera
You
frozen.
go to series?
Your camera froze. But I'm gonna continue without you. You should probably what's it called leave the Zoom and then rejoin the Zoom. But what's it called? On to Bucks Celtics, which is a game that the teams that played last night. I what's it called? I was watching the game and honestly, my opinion on certain players and how they were playing changed throughout the game, specifically with Giannis. I'm trying to pull up my notes, that's why I'm not looking at the camera. Let me get them up. Okay, yeah. I got my notes. Just for the Bucks aspect of it, I'll start off with the good. I thought Wesley Matthews brought good energy. I mean, he was really hyped throughout the whole game, clapping, just getting some stops early on. Specifically, he had a couple stops on Jason Tatum, and I think another one on Marcus Smart or Jalen Brown. And I was pretty impressed with his defense there. He also hit a couple threes. He wasn't spectacular offensively or anything. I'm on
I'm back.
Bucks Celtics, by the way.
Okay, cool.
Um, so Wesley Matthews brought good energy. I thought he was just really active. Maybe not so much statistically, but just the energy he brought as a leader and keeping the energy up on the defensive side of the ball. Early on, I was really impressed with Giannis's passing. I thought that the Celtics were trying to like wall up at the rim and stopping him from going there, and he was making pretty good passes to the corners. The threes weren't always falling, but I do remember Pat Connaughton hitting a couple threes off of Giannis passes, which is helpful when he's not going to just force it up. Um, I say early on because later in the game there were some possessions where Giannis were
Just
like,
started taking them.
yeah, he not even that, but like Marcus Smart or someone would be on him and they would just expect that he was going to the rim. Like there were some times
Yeah.
where Marcus Smart just knew Giannis was going to the rim and it ended up in a bad shot or a turnover by the Bucks. He was hitting his mid range though in the first
Mhm.
half. He hit 2, 3 mid range shots and he never returned back to that shot in the second half. I don't believe.
He
Uh,
didn't hit a three that game. I mean,
he
it's
didn't.
not expected of him to hit the threes, but at least he's still pulling them, so I'm not mad
Right.
about that.
I'm trying to what's it called? Close my phone on accident.
Um.
Giannis got a tech, which was kind of
Oh yeah.
funny because he just looked at Al Horford and he got a tech
Yeah.
for it. I think I do want to talk about the officiating in a general sense once we're done with all of this, but once we're done
That
going over each
stare
series
down.
individually. But it was just a stare down. Like I don't see
Yeah.
that it was
No, that
deserving of
stare
tech
down triggered Al Horford.
to
It triggered that inner beast to
yeah.
get that 30 to
Now
lead the
his
Celtics to the
sister
win.
his sister made a tweet and she was like, "Yeah, I know that face. He was pissed." Yeah, Al Horford
Yeah.
was really good. He had 30, I think. There's 31, 30, somewhere around there. He also got Giannis
Al
back and
and
dunked on him. Yeah, they both had 30. They combined for a good 60
and then
points.
Marcus
Jalen
Smart
Brown
and
didn't do
Jalen
much
Brown.
though.
Marcus Smart and Jalen Brown 18 though, so that's
Jalen
great.
Brown had eight. Jalen Brown had 18, but I feel like when I was
Yeah,
watching the game, he wasn't really doing much.
I mean he went 5 for 11, so it makes sense to think
Yeah,
that
he
because he
he
wasn't really they weren't flashy, but
yeah
he was getting his buckets.
yeah. He also had how many fouls did he end up having? Because I feel like he had a lot of
Ended up
fouls.
having where are the fouls at? Where are the fouls at? Where are the fouls at? Do they not know? Do they not show fouls?
You on Google?
I'm on ESPN. I can't find
Dang, they
fouls.
don't show fouls for players. Okay, well I feel like Jason Tatum had 3 or 4 fouls.
Mhm.
Big question of the officiating was going on throughout the game about Giannis and how he kind of just runs through people. I mean, I
I think
get
he
it.
was
I
just
guess I think people don't have an issue with the officiating necessarily. I think people have an issue with the inconsistencies of it. Like
hmm
Giannis shouldn't be able to just body his way through certain players, but say like Steph Curry or someone who's not as physically dominant tried to do the
hmm
same thing, he would get a offensive foul or a
Yeah.
charge. Um, and I get that. I definitely get that. But at the same time, it is a playoff series, and I do think that they should be allowed to play more on the physical spectrum, more on the physical
Mhm.
side. So I think that instead of saying, "Hey, call more fouls on Giannis," I think the goal should be call less fouls on everybody
I
in
think
a
these
general
things should just
sense.
be more consistent.
Yeah, it just needs to be more consistent. It doesn't
Yeah.
need to be um, like crack down on Giannis because he's getting away with this. Just make it to where everyone can be a little more physical, and I think that would help the help the experience of watching the game because this game specifically was really like I don't really have an issue with officiating typically,
Mhm.
but this game there was just a lot of fouls, like a lot of fouls on the Celtics specifically. Like the foul difference between the Celtics and the Mavs is pretty noticeable.
Mhm.
There's 25 fouls by the Celtics, 17 by the Bucks.
Huh.
And for a long time, it was 25-12. And the Bucks had like 5 fouls in the fourth quarter because they finally started calling fouls or getting calls for the Celtics
Mhm.
in the fourth quarter. But just a straight collapse. I'm not going to lie. In the fourth quarter, I don't
To add
know.
on to that, the
Go ahead.
score difference was 43 to 28 in the fourth
That's
quarter.
what I was just about to get on. They were up the whole game pretty much. I mean, the Celtics kept it close. They had it
Yeah.
within one a few times. I think the Bucks' biggest lead was about 10 or 12, something like that.
hmm
But allowing 43 in the fourth is unacceptable. I'm
Insane.
sorry. I mean, Jason Tatum really started to lock in for the last like 3-4 minutes of the game.
He
He
wasn't
had a
shooting the best throughout the whole game though.
yeah.
11 for 24,
He
3 for
also had
2.
a few fouls and
Yeah.
he also had a few turnovers. I'm pretty sure. But other
He
than
only had
that,
2, but
he was okay. I wouldn't say he had his best game, but in the fourth quarter, he showed why he is one of the best superstars in the league.
mhm.
And he definitely took over. He had some crazy layup on somebody.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember who it was on, but he
Bro
like
was pretty much horizontal to the floor and
yeah,
then
he
just
tweened, hezzy, spin move, spit, falls, and then just lays it in like it's nothing. I
yeah.
think he also hit a clutch little three. He went on his own like personal 7-0 run as far as scoring the ball goes.
He practiced that
Um,
in his my court.
he had to practice it in his my court. But I honestly, when I was started watching this game, I was just like, dang, I'm lucky to be able to say that I'm going to watch Jason Tatum and Giannis go at it for the next 10 or so years because they're
Mhm.
both just such special talents. And
Oh,
even Jalen Brown, too.
hey, to add something,
Hmm.
the Bucks played like 5 people for 1 minute.
When
No, I don't know when, but Thanasis, Nora, Tucker, and Vildoza and Carter, they all played 1 minute.
I, you know what, that might have been at the end of the game. I'm not going to lie to you.
True.
Because I didn't see any of them hop on the court. And I watched the whole thing
No,
up until like the last.
it was probably the end of the game. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't see them hop on until or the whole game, and I watched until like
hmm
the last minute of the game. So that's probably when they came in.
Yeah.
Um, but honestly, just like what's it called? I mean, it was a good game. I can't say it was an unentertaining game. It was good. I just think the fouls kind of hurt the
Blew.
viewing experience a bit.
but
Also, um, one person who needs to take some blame is Drew Holiday because he did
mhm.
not play good. His new nickname until he plays better is Drew took a holiday because he clearly took the day off. Um, I don't know where he was at the whole game, but he was extremely inefficient. I don't know it doesn't show his specific numbers right
5 for
here.
22 from the field, 1 for 6 from three, but he had 7 rebounds and 9 assists. Although that does not excuse 5 for 22.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, great and all. He had your 7 rebounds and 9 assists. However, um, my boy, 5 for 22 is awful. That's like
Yeah.
25%. Below 25%. Um, you got to shoot a little better than that. And I think it's Drew Holiday just cannot have those kinds of games, especially without Chris Middleton, because
hmm
Chris Middleton definitely alleviates some of the scoring pressure that's on Giannis. Because
I think Pat should have taken more shots.
Pat
So
Connaughton, Pat
yeah,
Connaughton
for sure.
was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you. Pat Connaughton, he had a fast break dunk. He had a
hmm
couple threes. He had 7 points, right?
He had 11. He
11?
took 8 shots though. I
Oh,
think he
11.
should
I'm
have
looking
taken
at
more
Grayson
shots.
Allen.
Maybe those Drew Holiday shots.
Yes, like split those up. But yeah, Drew Holiday was not good.
Or
It
give them to
was
like someone else
right.
because
Drew
it
Holiday has
clearly
never
wasn't his
been
night.
Drew Holiday has never been a scorer type of guy.
Yeah.
He's defense first, playmaking second, and then his scoring, which is valuable, of course. I'm not gonna say he's not a good player or anything. It's just when he's put into that role where he has to be the second best scorer
It's
on the
not gonna
team,
work out
it's
well.
not really like that's not his thing. Um, so he definitely needs to play better. Even if that means he scores less, if that means he just takes less shots, if that makes him more efficient, that's fine. But being below 20% is like unacceptable.
I think he just tried to do too much, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, he
Like
he
trying to
definitely
fill that.
did the Chris Middleton role.
Yeah,
That's what
he's
he
trying
was
to
trying
fill
to
that
do.
Chris Middleton role.
But that's what happens when you're missing one of your best scorers. You kind of
Yeah.
have to take some of the shots that they typically would take. And you're not really made to do those things.
Yeah.
They play again. Oh, they don't play again tomorrow because there's no games tomorrow, but they play again because everyone's traveling tomorrow.
hmm
They play again on Thursday, and they are back in Boston for games 5 and 6. I mean, honestly, the series is really a toss up because it
I still have
was
Celtics in 7.
Celtics in 7. I mean, again, without Chris Middleton, it is really tough for me to confidently say the Bucks, just because like Giannis did play like extremely good
This
yesterday.
makes us realize though how good Giannis really is.
34 and 18 with 5 assists yesterday, and they lost by 8. I mean, like he did have some bad possessions, but I mean, like if you're asking him to play better than he did last night to just win,
There isn't much he can do.
right? But again, it also was an abnormally bad game for Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
So adding into the fact that Drew Holiday had an abnormally bad game, and the fact that it only lost by 8, and it was really mostly just Giannis and Brook Lopez for most of the game, then I mean, I guess if you're a Bucks fan, you're still feeling somewhat confident. It's just not a
hmm
good look when your team allows 43 points in the fourth quarter. That's just me though.
That's all I gotta say on the series.
Yeah, I'm good too. Now on to what was the weirdest game of the night, or really probably the weirdest game of the playoffs so far. Yesterday we saw the Kerrless Warriors because if you guys didn't know, Steve Kerr
Oh,
tested positive for COVID yesterday morning, so they were without him, which was actually kind of funny because the assistant coach who took over for the Warriors just got hired for the Kings the
yeah.
same day. So he got hired as the Kings head coach, and then hours later he becomes the Warriors head coach for the time being. Um, so just to be frank, like no team was hitting shots. It was a literal brick fest. I'm not gonna lie to you. Specifically in the first half, and really up until like the fourth quarter, it wasn't even good defense because there were so many good looks that the Warriors and the Grizzlies were getting that they just couldn't capitalize on.
Jaren Jackson Jr. went 0 for 7 from the 3-point line.
Jaren Jackson Jr., I have more on him because he really sold the game. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie to you.
He didn't have to take that three. Like he
That's
had.
what I'm saying. We're about to get to that possession because
Yeah.
that was an awful shot. I don't know
He
what
just
the look
decided to
was,
pull for no reason with 3 Warriors right in front of him.
and there was no shot clock, and he had 12 seconds left. There was no
Yeah.
reason to take that shot specifically.
And then he
Like
got packed by Draymond.
he got packed by Draymond, and like just not a good shot. But pretty much, well, first off for the Grizzlies, we'll start off with the good. Kyle Anderson played really good yesterday. He was
Kyle
he
Anderson,
was he was really
stargrizer.
really good. Tyus Jones
Oh,
was really really good.
I'm gonna make a comment on that. If he is a little bit more efficient from the free throw line, it's a
It's a
different
different
ballgame
game.
because he went 2 for 7.
Yeah, you got to
These
make your
free
free
throws
throws.
count.
Yeah, those are
They only
free
took 50
points
free throws,
essentially.
so that's pretty good. But compared to the Warriors, they took 22 free throws. I mean, some were late game,
Yeah, because
forced to foul.
Curry took like 6 free throws in the last like minute of the
Yeah,
game. But yeah, for the Grizzlies side of it, like Dylan Brooks was awful. He came back and he felt so bad for the Gary Payton Jr. thing that he decided to just take Gary Payton Jr.'s spot on the Warriors, and he was their sixth man. That's how bad he played. He decided to suit up for them. Desmond Bain did
Desmond
nothing.
Bain didn't do that.
He literally
He was just there.
one of his 3 shots that he made was a half court buzzer beater at the end of the third
Oh
quarter.
yeah,
So that's really not like a
notable shot or like
right.
notable stat.
Dylan
I
Brooks
mean,
was 2 for 9 from the line, 5 for 19 from the field.
their
This felt like
bench just didn't do much other than Kyle Anderson. That's
Kyle
it.
Anderson really showed up. Brandon Clark, I don't know what it is with him, but he goes over the back every single time. And it's something that I thought was just like a 1 game thing because I watched him do it in one of the Grizzlies Warrior games. No, this man, every time he goes for a rebound, it does not matter where he is, he goes over the back. And
Do you think that was a loose ball foul on Curry?
when he fell,
Yeah. Do you think that was a
late
foul?
in the game, Desmond Bain gets the rebound. Curry
Yeah.
falls forward and they get the free throw. Yeah, no, that wasn't a foul.
Yeah.
I watched it and I know the league pass like angle doesn't really give you the best idea of the foul, but that's a flop. You could tell it's a
Yeah.
flop. Desmond Bain didn't touch him. I could tell from the league pass angle that he didn't touch him. He got the rebound and he went back up. I
Like
guess
he
it's
just touched him. Like he barely did.
right. He barely tapped him to
Like
get the
just a little
board. And,
tap. Like I'm here. Like
yeah,
that type of tap. Like a little love tap.
right. 1 second. Let me make sure I don't unplug my computer. That would not be good. Okay, we're good. But yeah, Brandon Clark goes over the back every time, and that Curry foul was not really a foul to me. But again, this just felt like one of those games where both teams was just handing the other team the win. Like, and it's weird because in the Grizzlies' perspective, you're thinking, oh, they don't even have their head coach. Okay, let's take advantage of this. But if you're the Warriors, you're thinking, oh, they don't have their best player. Let's take advantage of this. And it felt like the whole time the Warriors just couldn't make anything. They were turning the ball over and they were just trying to get the Grizzlies to win.
They're just forcing too many shots, or not forcing, but like
they just weren't falling. And then the Grizzlies at the same time did everything in their power to lose this game. Like it was honestly mesmerizing to me how both teams played so bad.
Curry and Clay combined for 4 for 21 from the 3-point line.
Yeah, let's not get it twisted just because Curry's stats, are 32 points and 8 assists with 5 rebounds.
He went 10 for 25 from the field.
Yeah, he was not good yesterday. And he made 8 of his points were free throws, and 6 of those free throws were actually in like the last minute of the game.
Yeah,
if anything, he had like 24 points.
Grizzlies had to foul.
Right, exactly. They had to foul. So that boosted his stats a little bit. He really had like 24 legitimate points on really poor efficiency. Klay Thompson specifically was really, really bad yesterday. He was really just running around. He graded out. And it wasn't even like he was getting bad looks or he was taking bad shots.
They were good shots, but like
shots just wasn't falling yesterday. Jordan Poole didn't play much
because they're still 3-point reliant. That if they don't fall, games like this are going to happen. But I also think it might be part of Steve Kerr not being there.
Yeah, no, I think part of this was Steve Kerr not being there.
Yeah.
But like 0 for 3 from Jordan Poole from 3, 0 for 2 from Damian Lee. Only person who was efficient from 3 was Otto Porter. He was 4 for 6. He played really solid off the bench, 26 minutes. Clay was 0 for 7. Curry was 4 for 14. Wiggins was 1 for 5. And Kuminga and Draymond Green did not make, nor did they attempt a 3. Draymond Green only took 2 shots. Yeah. He finished with 2, 11, and 5. And 5 fouls. His fouls were really dumb, in my opinion. I think all of them were kind of dumb. He had one where he was like reaching for the ball and he got a foul. Like
they needed to give Juan Toscano Anderson some more minutes. I'm just saying.
Is he injured?
Like this wouldn't happen.
DNP coach's decision.
Oh.
He's not injured. He just didn't play due to
he just didn't play.
Yeah, the Warriors shot 24% from 3, And the Grizzlies shot 25% from three.
It's just a poor shooting game for both
For
teams.
both
They're forcing
teams.
shots. That's
And
it.
literally
Shots just won't
the
fall.
difference is okay, so Warriors shot 24 from three, Grizzlies shot 25 from three, Warriors shot 40 from the field, Grizzlies shot 41 from the field, Warriors shot 90% from the free throw line though, and the Grizzlies shot 60% from the free throw line. It was the free throws lost them the game essentially.
Pretty
I mean,
much.
the free throws in combination with just how poor they played in general lost them the game. But when the only drastic difference between you and the other team's shooting splits is free throws, that means the free throws lost you the game.
I think an issue of the game was though that they didn't know how to play without Jaw.
I
Because
mean,
Jaw didn't miss any games this
they
year.
know how to play without Ja because they're 20-4 without Ja. The thing
Oh.
is, late down the stretch, it's just because it was just they were so bad offensively. They needed
Mhm.
someone to take the shots down the stretch,
Which would have been Jaw.
which
But he
would have
wasn't
been
there.
Ja. They didn't know how to. I'll give them this. It's different to play without your best player in the regular season than it is to play without your best player in the playoffs.
Mhm.
So
Because in the playoffs, you look for that guy.
yeah,
But when he's not there, issues
right,
arise.
right. Plus, typically, I would imagine a lot of the game or most of the games they played without Ja were not against
Good team.
Golden State Warrior level teams. Even if they were playoff teams, they weren't the Warriors.
Mhm.
So it's just like I mean they know how to play without Ja, but like in a playoff game, you really want your best player there. And it
Yeah.
showed late down the stretch because there was times where they just could not score and they were relying on people who aren't really scorers at heart to score the ball. But what you brought up earlier, the Jaren Jackson Jr. shot was really
Mhm.
confusing to me because it
I
was
don't
a
know. I was confused.
right because they didn't need a three in the first place.
Yeah.
They were down one, I think. On top
No,
of that,
they were down three, I think. They're down three.
they weren't down three. They legit did not need a three at the time. They
Huh.
were either down two or they were down one. They needed a
Oh.
three to like take the lead, but you're not playing to take the lead really.
Mhm.
When you have 12 seconds. You're really
Yeah.
just playing to stay in the game. But he decides to take a pull up three when he hadn't made one all game. So that's another thing that's confusing about it.
Mhm.
He hadn't made a three all game.
He had 3 Golden State Warriors on him. One being Draymond Green,
One of the
the
best
team
defenders
center.
of all time, pretty
But
much.
yeah.
Uh, there was also 12 seconds on the shot clock, or not even the shot clock because there was no shot clock. There was 12
Yeah.
seconds on the game clock. He
I thought
didn't have to shoot it. So, like, they didn't even try and run a play. It was just like
he just chucked it.
Tyus Jones brought the ball up, panicked, threw the ball to Jaren Jackson, who also panicked and shot the ball.
Yeah.
It was just a poor.
I think that's where that veteran presence kicks in.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. It's just
That's where
like
the playoff veteran presence kicks in. That's why the Warriors are favorites because they have people that have been there multiple times.
right,
And Iggy, Draymond, Curry, Clay, they've been there.
right,
And they're also those guys who can hit the shot, except, Draymond and Iggy, they're all, yeah, they don't, that's not their job. But
right.
they can hit it. And they have the experience to do so. And they know what to do. They've been in that situation before. They know the situation, which is down 1, 2, whatever.
Yeah.
You have not short time, like 5 seconds, but you have 12 seconds on the clock. That's enough time to run a play, in my opinion.
That's way more than enough time to run a play. Plus,
Yeah.
12 seconds is when the shot occurred. They had like 17 seconds on the possession.
Mhm.
And Tyus Jones didn't really, what's it called, set the team up in a position to run any sort of play there. He dribbled up to the right side of the court. He was looking, throws it to Jaren Jackson Jr., who's running across from the left corner to like top of the key, and he just jacks it up for some reason. And it's definitely a veteran thing because honestly, I don't think both ways. If the Grizzlies were a veteran team, I think the Grizzlies win this game. Like if they're just like if the Grizzlies are what's a veteran team, for example? Let's just say the Grizzlies are
The Heat.
the Heat. The Grizzlies are the Heat. They are not losing this game, even if they're not like the Heat level, because the Heat are the one seed.
Mhm.
If the Grizzlies are the Nets, they're not losing this game. I don't think, because it's just like
It's just those little things that
Mhm.
veterans pick up on.
Right.
Like, of course, it's different for us to say it because we're coming from an outside view. We're not professional athletes.
Right.
But I've noticed that when I play sports, people that have played the game pick up on things versus someone who just started playing the game.
And people who play the game are also just in general more comfortable. They're
Mhm.
more at home. Not because of course all of these have been playing basketball their whole lives, but not all of them have been playing NBA basketball their whole lives, and not all of them have been playing NBA playoff basketball their whole life. All of these guys, it's like their second playoff experience. And I actually, for Jaren Jackson Jr. specifically, he was injured last year. I don't think he played in the
Yeah.
playoffs last year. So this is his first real playoff experience, and they're going against probably the most experienced team in the NBA as far as playoff experience. Actually, not even probably. The Warriors are the most experienced playoff team
Yeah.
because that team literally went to 5 finals. Okay, like they know how to get things done, and they kept the same 3 guys plus Iggy, even though he doesn't really play anymore.
Mhm.
He's just there to mentor,
Moral
keep
support.
moral
Udonis
support.
Haslam.
Right, essentially. Um, but their leadership and their experience showed because typically, especially put the Grizzlies in the Warriors perspective, and they're just like not making any of their shots throughout the whole game, and they're down. I think they would have kind of not given up, but like it would have shown in their body language, and I don't
Mhm.
think the Grizzlies would have been able to make their comeback like the
Yeah.
Warriors did. Because the Warriors, like, if you forget the whole first to third quarter, fourth quarter on, the Warriors played
They
as
were
well as
trailing the whole game until the fourth quarter.
right. The fourth quarter is when the Warriors started playing like how they were supposed to play the whole game.
Yeah.
Um, Curry specifically in the fourth quarter, even though he didn't play good in general, the fourth quarter is when he picked it up and he started playing like, Steph Curry, the 2-time MVP that, we know him to be. Uh,
There's an
but
interview where
go ahead.
when their coach that just got hired, their assistant coach that just got hired for the Kings, he said that they really played like the Kings.
Right. Like credit to him because he actually did. I thought his coaching was really good.
Yeah.
I thought because a
It's
lot of
not
the
her
times,
level, but
yeah, I thought like some coaches are scared to take out their best players. But I did notice that for a lot of the third and up until like the last 6 minutes of the fourth quarter, Klay Thompson wasn't on the court. And
Mhm.
no spite to Klay Thompson, but
He hit
like,
a clutch three with like a minute left in
yeah,
the game.
that was
Yeah.
wild because
Corner three.
he hadn't been making anything the whole game. They
Yeah.
sub him in on an inbounds play. Curry just throws him the ball and he just shoots it immediately and it goes in.
It
And of
just
course,
goes in. Yeah.
it's the clutch one, and it's not even a three. It was a mid range.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
because he didn't make a three all game, but it
Mhm.
was like a mid
It was
range
like a
on the
deep
line.
midi. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, he wasn't afraid to take Klay Thompson out the game.
When they ran that like def lineup,
It was reps. I mean, it didn't work as well as it did against like the Nuggets, just because
yeah,
people's shots weren't falling. But it definitely,
you can see it. It
right,
was there.
it was definitely there. Um, Jonathan Kuminga started, but he only played 5 minutes.
Like 5 minutes. I don't know why.
I don't know if he got hurt or something. He had to have gotten hurt if he started and he only
Mhm.
played 5 minutes. I guess I just didn't pick up on that. But
I did
yeah,
see that was his first start ever, like in the playoffs,
hey,
because it was all posted everywhere. Yada yada.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm not
Mhm.
seeing anything.
Maybe they were just like, "Hey, this ain't working. You're not playing for the rest of the game." Like, um,
Yeah, I'm not finding anything on him.
Jordan Poole didn't play particularly well. But yeah, that's the gist of what I have to say about this game. Let me check my notes just to make sure. Um,
This
I'm,
does not change my prediction of Golden State winning it,
oh yeah, not at all.
but that's pretty much all I have to say about
Yeah, that
this.
was the gist of it. And currently, the third quarter just ended in the Philadelphia Sixers Miami Heat game. The score is 66-81. I will check on the box score. Tobias Harris is 4 for 13, not very efficient. But Joel Embiid, as we said, did pick it up. He has 17 points now. He's 7 for 12.
That's great.
James Harden, 14, 5 for 11.
14, 2 for 6 from the 3-point
Trying to look
line.
at, yeah, I'm trying to look at particularly based off of the stats. What's the reason they're losing? It's probably the
Duncan hasn't
threes.
played ever since we've talked about it. He's only played 5 minutes in the whole game, and he hasn't been in.
He went in, missed a three, and then left.
Yeah, pretty much. Jimmy
Mm,
Butler's 21, leading scorer for the Heat.
PJ Tucker, 10, 4, and 7. Bam Adebayo, only 7 points and 7 rebounds, which isn't
He has 2 blocks
amazing.
though, so I'll give him that.
Yeah, maybe his role isn't really to score right now, but you
Tyler
would
Hero has 17. No, not 17. 6 points in 17
17
minutes.
minutes, so he's also not playing. He's also not taking a lot of shots though.
Yeah.
Maybe you know what it might be, the Heat sometimes they like to play kind of slow paced,
hmm
which leads to them not putting up that many shots.
It's like the Tyler Hero is like the only fast guy on that team, like
Yeah,
that actually wants to like run it and energetic.
they don't. That's not really their style of play to like
Yeah,
push the fast. I mean, they push a lot of fast breaks just because of how good their defense is,
Mhm.
but it's predicated on defense for them, and
They're not a
like
fast-paced team. They're
they're
like a
not the
defensive-minded team
they're
that'll
not
get their buckets when they need to.
right. They're not the Charlotte Hornets, the
hmm
Miami Heat. Uh,
Max Strus is 5 for 11. He has 9 rebounds though.
he's actually been solid like all series. I
Yeah.
mean, his numbers aren't too eye popping, but they've been good enough. Like,
hmm
I'm comfortable with him being the starting point guard over there.
Sure.
I mean, of course, he's
He's
probably
the
not going to end
starting
up
two
being
guard. I think Greg Vincent is that his name?
Gabe Vincent.
Gabe Vincent. Oh, Gabe
Yeah.
Vincent. Yeah, he's the starting point guard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Max Strus is he's the two. It's the two. He
Yeah.
says shooting guard right here, but yeah, Max Strus, I'm comfortable with starting him.
hmm
He never seems to really make any drastic mistakes when I'm watching him, and he just does a little bit of everything. He's really calm, cool, and collected. Same thing with Gabe Vincent, but he's just not to
hmm
me as impactful. They stepped up as starters, and they just really like they play with almost veteran attitude, even though I don't think either of them have been in the NBA all that long. I'll check for both, but I
Toby
really
needs to step up. Toby and James Harden need to step up.
Toby hasn't been on anything. Yeah, Gabe Vincent has been in the NBA, or he's only 25, so no matter how long he's been in the NBA, he's still young.
He's young.
And then Max Strus, I also think is either on the younger side, or he's one of those old rookies, like a
Mhm.
Compazzo type.
Yeah.
Compazzo or Max Strus is 26. They're both just in general young. Um, but yeah,
Matisse hasn't taken a shot in 7 minutes.
that's not what he does. He
Yeah.
don't shoot the ball. He just plays defense. But he's also only played 7 minutes. So
Yeah.
I mean, good luck to the Sixers trying to come back from
Pretty much it.
down 22 because someone just scored on the Heat. It just updated the score right now.
Oh wow.
But yeah, that looks to be about
They're gonna
it.
have to go crazy.
Yeah, it looks like the Heat are about to go up
Heat's gonna go up
3-2.
3-2.
But
Going
that
back to Miami next
concludes, yeah,
Thursday. Yeah, on Thursday.
that concludes pretty much all I had to say about Warriors, Grizzlies, and just the playoff games in general.
Oh no, they resume on Friday. I think, right?
There's a 2-day break.
I think so. Hold on, let me check.
I think it's really only. I mean, it might be a 2-game break, or two
Yeah,
day break.
yeah, I thought it's a 2-day break because every location changes 2 days.
That's true. It might be 2 days.
Mm, May 12th, which is a Thursday.
So yeah, 2 days from today. But
Yeah, from today.
yeah, it's a 1-day break. So
Okay.
and actually, nah, there is no break, bro. There's games tomorrow.
Hmm.
I thought there was a break because they are
Yeah, I
going
thought there
from.
was a
There's a
break.
travel. They're traveling right now, but I guess
Oh, wow.
today is
Did
their
they
break.
stop doing that 2-day break thing then?
I
Oh
think
no,
that's
they
only
did. Yeah, they did.
that's a first
That's
round
only for the
thing.
first round. Yeah.
Yeah, they travel while the other two teams are playing, and then play you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's games tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna see the Warriors and the Grizzlies. Pretty
Mhm.
much, we're gonna see the Warriors win the series most likely,
And
and
then
then
Bucks, Celtics.
who knows where that's gonna go. Personally, I think I'm gonna go Celtics winning tomorrow, just because of how poorly I just saw the Bucks play yesterday, and the fact that they're back in Boston.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it.
That's all I got with playoffs.
Yeah. Just some other NBA things that have happened. We found out that the MVP of the league is your boy Nikola Jokic,
Nikola Jokic.
back-to-back MVP. He's one of the only 13 people to do it. I think that the 13 are. I'm gonna try and name them all off the top of my head. We got Jordan, LeBron, Curry, Giannis. We saw Wilt has done it. I'm trying to think of who else it was. There's 13 guys. Did I say Jordan?
Yes.
I said Jordan already. Oh, Moses Malone did it because he's a 3-time MVP. Steve Nash. Um, trying to think of who else did it.
Let me know when you give up because I got these. Like I got the people.
Let's see. Trying to think. Magic Johnson,
Yes.
Larry Bird.
Yes.
Um,
Think fundamentals.
Tim Duncan.
Yes.
Okay, big fundamental. Two more. Bill Russell.
Uh, yes.
Okay, there's one more. I don't know who it is.
Did you guess Wilt?
I did guess Wilt.
Okay. He's one. And then there's one more. He's a Laker. He was one. He's old now. Very old.
Elgin Baylor.
He's pretty big. No.
Shaq?
No.
Shaq only has one MVP, I'm pretty sure. Not Kobe.
I think he was
Kareem.
Yeah,
Kareem.
Kareem. Yeah,
It's Kareem. Okay. Yeah, those are the 13 people who did it. All of those guys are really big names. So for Jokic to insert himself in that conversation is insane.
He was also the only second rounder to win back-to-back MVP.
Isn't
And
he
he
like
will
the
go down
first second rounder to win an
to win
MVP in the first
Yeah.
place? So
He's probably going to go down as the best second rounder to get
the
drafted.
greatest second rounder of
Yeah.
all time, by far, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
He's
But
also probably
I
the
think
greatest Nugget of
people
all
are
time.
going to say, yeah, people are going to say Embiid over Jokic because my MVP wouldn't get eliminated in the first round, or like who else is Giannis over Jokic?
Because they're just both in the playoffs.
Yeah, but if you think about it, the Nuggets without Jokic are literally a worse version of the Kings. Like replace Jokic with like DeAndre Jordan or like any average center like Steven Adams.
Yeah.
They're not going to be as good as they are now. They're going to be worse than the Lakers. The Lakers might be a playing team now.
Yeah. No, literally, I think the stat is that if Jokic isn't on the Nuggets, they are the worst team in the NBA. They are the literal worst team in the league. And if that doesn't spell most valuable player, that with him they are a 6 seed. No, we're a 6 seed.
You were a 6 seed, yes.
With him, you guys are a 6 seed. And without him, you guys are literally hoping for a number 1 overall pick. That's value. Not to forget that he was top 10 in everything. Not everything, but he was 6th in points, 2nd in rebounds, 8th in assists, and he had the highest player efficiency rating of all time. He also led his team in everything. Like literally everything. Led them in points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, field goal percent, 3-point, like all of that. He did everything.
Had no help. Well, I'm a Nuggets fan. I'm going to say it. He had no help because we had rookie Bones Highland. He's a rookie. You can't expect much from him. We picked up DeMarcus Cousins. Oh my God.
Yeah.
To help him out a little bit. But MPJ, our arguably second, third best player, Jamal Murray, they were not there for the whole season.
MPJ played like the first week of the season and then was gone.
That's it. He just disappeared off the face of the earth.
I mean, I'm going to search up Embiid's numbers too. Not to say Embiid had a bad season or anything. Embiid was a scoring leader, so I will give him that. But
he eventually picked up Harden, which
helped
him, but that was like after the All-Star break. So
Embiid was third or was first in points, 5th in rebounds, 3rd in player efficiency rating, 46th in assists. Which
go ahead.
I mean, again, those are good numbers. 30, 11, 4. No one's saying those are awful numbers, but my God, if anyone put up, if any other player who wasn't Jokic was able to put up 27, 14, and 8, this is rounding up, of course, because it's 27, 13.8, and 7.9. But 27, 14, and 8 on the highest player efficiency rating of all time, there would be no question if they were MVP.
It's just the name and his situation in the playoffs. Well, he's not in the playoffs, obviously, but since he won it last year, pretty much people are going to be like, oh, he won it again. I don't want him to win it again. Yada. But like, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's the same thing for Giannis though. Like they didn't want him to win it the second time.
And then he won a championship.
Yeah.
I think the difference between Jokic and Giannis is the fact that like
one's in the playoffs, one's not.
Not even that. It's just like Jokic, even in the future, like in the next 2 to 3 years, it doesn't look like the Nuggets are going to be winning a championship anytime soon.
Yeah.
They just don't look like they're in position to do that just because of how tough the Western Conference is at the moment. And the
Mhm.
roster they have now isn't the most amazing
Isn't the best
roster.
fit.
So I think the difference is even when Giannis wasn't like winning championships, it seems more likely as to the fact that he was going to win one at some point.
Yeah.
While there's a very real possibility that Jokic never wins one, there's also a very real possibility that Embiid never wins one.
Hmm.
But specifically with Jokic, there's really a possibility with Jokic that he never even plays in an NBA Finals,
Yeah.
just because of how good the Western Conference always is. And I think that's part of the reason why people don't um, like think he should have won it.
Hmm.
I also people try and act like he played bad in the playoffs. He played really good in the playoffs, actually.
He had like if he didn't do what he did,
It
we
would have
would
been
have been swept.
it would have been swept and it would have been blowouts every single year.
Yeah. Like not
Um,
even close. But I think it's also the fact that he isn't the most entertaining to watch. I
I
will
mean,
admit that.
in comparison to some of the other guys, like
Yeah,
he's
to
not
like
more
Giannis or Embiid, he doesn't get crazy blocks. He doesn't get crazy dunks.
right.
He
He's just.
does his job and he does it great.
I think the entertaining thing about Jokic is how unathletic he is, but how good he is. Not to say he's
Yeah.
unathletic, because Jokic is really athletic in comparison to like the average person. But
Hmm.
like that man just walks down the court, looks the other way, and just hits his man like it's nothing.
Hmm.
And it's just funny because it's no
His
one else is
passing is so fun to watch
right.
because I love passing.
Hmm.
But to a regular person, they would rather see the flashy dunk or the cool block. He
Yeah,
doesn't get many blocks and he doesn't even dunk that much.
yeah. Like he's
But
not. He doesn't have
yeah,
the flashiest highlights, but
he
just
finishes tough shots.
the
Like
numbers are
those dumb shots that you think that would be like dumb, he
right.
somehow makes them. I have no clue how, but they just fall.
And he improved as a defender this year.
Yeah.
He was a capable defender. I'm not going to say he
Mhm.
was an elite defender, but he got better as a defender. Uh, but he's definitely improved each and every year in his career, like
Mhm.
no questions
For sure.
asked. Um, and it's honestly crazy to think that this guy got drafted during a Taco Bell commercial, and he is
Yeah.
now a two-time MVP.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, again, you can't really hold playoffs accountable to MVP because if we look at
It's a
all the
regular
last,
word.
I'm gonna look at every MVP ranked, like or not ranked, but like the last MVPs, but most of them haven't won the chip.
I'm gonna look at the most recent MVPs in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's some of them who have, but a lot of specifically in like the last 5 or so years, the MVP hasn't won the chip very often. So Jokic this year isn't gonna win it. Last year he didn't win it. The year before that, Giannis didn't win it. The year before that, again, Giannis didn't win it. The year before that, James Harden didn't win the chip. Russell Westbrook didn't win the chip. The last MVP, oh, Curry didn't win the championship the second time, but the first time
Mhm.
he did win it. So the last time the MVP actually won a championship was 2014, 2015 with Steph Curry. Um, and then before that, KD didn't win the championship that year. Um, one of these LeBron years, he didn't win it. Derrick Rose didn't win it. LeBron didn't win it again. LeBron didn't win it again. Kobe
James
didn't win it
Harden
this
didn't win
year.
it.
Dirk didn't win the championship that year. Steve Nash didn't win it both of those years. KG didn't win it that year. Um, so
Pretty
it's just
much.
like,
The MVP comes down to the best player on a good team, but like
yeah, it's
I don't
just
know. The
this
Nuggets
number.
situation isn't the best.
It comes down to a lot of things. The what's it called? If
Playoff basketball it comes down to experience, teams that can perform, and pretty much defense, I guess. Well, I don't know about defense because that Golden State team, there isn't really much defense there, but they play it.
yeah,
But
it's
their
just like
scoring is also there and the veteran presence. The
at the
Nuggets
end
do.
of the day, go ahead, go ahead. At the end of
Okay.
the day, it's just the MVP is a regular season award. It's not the playoffs. It's
Hmm.
like I just don't get why people treat the MVP as if it's a playoff included award when no
Yeah.
other award is considered a playoff included award. Like we're
At
never
least it
talking
wasn't
about
double MVP.
right. Like at least what's it called? Like when we talk about coach of the year, it's never like, oh well, my coach of the year is still in the playoffs and yours isn't.
Hmm.
Defensive player of the year, defensive player of the year isn't typically like that. The defensive player of the year is only like that if Rudy wins it. Like no
Yeah,
one's
pretty
talking about
much.
if the Celtics were to get eliminated right now, people would be like, oh well, the defensive player of the year would still be in the play. It's only with Rudy typically.
Hmm. Because
Um,
he's
what,
so one-dimensional.
yeah, and he's just a lot of people don't like him for a lot of reasons. Like even
Yeah.
the COVID thing where he touched all the mics and then like a week later he got COVID and ended the whole NBA. Yeah, that was pretty uncool, Rudy. That was not cool, dude. But what's it called? What's another thing? What's another award? 60 Man of the Year. No one cares if the 60 Man of the Year is still in the playoffs. Um, again, I
No one
think
cares about most improved.
right, just in general. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Like it's
what's
a
it?
cool award to have, but like no one cares.
No one's talking about people's careers and are like, hey, well, hey, this guy had most improved in 2007, bro.
He's the greatest of all time because he has a most improved award, and this
Does
guy
your
doesn't.
does your goat have the most improved award? No, like that doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I think it's not even about the MVP. It's just about who's a better player.
Hmm.
Honestly, and this could be a little discussion we have. To me, Jokic isn't the best player in the world, but he's second. I think it's Giannis and Jokic is the two best players in the league. Giannis one, and then Jokic two. I don't know who
I can
your
agree with
two
that.
are
I can agree with that.
because it's just like
You can't
Gian
stop Giannis. Period.
on offense or defense.
He's
Like
too good.
Giannis had a bad game against the Celtics, and he had a 17-point triple double with like 12 rebounds, and that was considered a bad game.
Yeah, and then he turned up in the fourth quarter to make
Right.
up for it. Like
Right.
he
Even
wasn't
even
doing
the
nothing
game
the whole
against
game.
the Celtics wasn't one of his best games. He played kind of poorly in some
Yeah.
aspects, and he dropped 35 and 18. And I'm still like, oh, well, I mean, I know he can play better than that just because he had a few possessions where I wasn't really happy with some of the things he did. That's the level of player that Giannis is. Also, with Giannis, he's someone who every year he adds something to his game.
Hmm.
Like maybe
Like
his statistics might not
last year,
improve drastically, but he adds an aspect to his game that makes him even more unguardable.
like last year, the free throws were an issue. This year, he fixed that. Now he's starting
Okay.
to take step back threes.
You're
Like,
right.
like
He
what
the
is this guy
jumper, he's
on?
comfortable taking mid-range shots. His
Incoming random
passing,
drug test.
right. Oh my God, the random drug testing. I remember Danny Green had a putback dunk or
Yeah.
something. He got drug tested like a couple of days later. It was
Yeah.
kind of funny. Um, yeah, but definitely like I just think that Jokic was deserving of the MVP to me. I'm
Yeah.
perfectly fine with him winning it. I just think that the NBA fans in general just need to understand that this is a regular season award, and it's always been a regular season award. It's never been what's it called decided upon who
Playoffs.
wins the championship.
Yeah.
Because if
Oh, I
that
saw.
was
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Finish up.
Okay.
Mine's like totally different.
If it was decided on who wins the championship or who played the best in the playoffs, LeBron would have 20 MVPs.
Hmm.
And we don't want that if that's what it comes down to. Because LeBron literally went to the finals for 10 years, and for a lot of those years, he was the best guy playing in the playoffs and put
Yeah.
up the best numbers in the playoffs.
So I saw this take. It was like Curry should be the MVP, but didn't Curry go on tour? Like
Yeah, no. Who
for
said
like
Curry should be MVP? When was
I
that?
I saw it on TikTok. I
Was it
forgot.
recent?
It was recent. Yeah, like he said, Jokic won MVP, but I think Curry should have won it. But Curry was on tour for like a month and a half, and that hurt
Right.
his team. Well, it didn't really hurt them, but you could see it. Like
He
people
was the
had to
only.
step up for him.
He was one of the few people who was like a superstar athlete or like superstar player in the league who had a drastic time period where they were just really bad.
Yeah.
Like Jokic didn't have a time period as long as that, maybe like a week or so where he had some bad games, but a month and a half where he was just like not hitting his shots. Yeah, nah, that didn't happen to my boy Jokic. I didn't
Even
see
if
that.
even if Jokic had a bad game, he's getting other stats.
Right,
His impact is clearly going to be there still, just not in the scoring aspect or like.
right. His playmaking will be there, and now more than ever, he's more of a deterrence at the rim and
Mhm,
like prevents people from taking good looks. Not
for
to say
sure.
he's Rudy Gobert or anything, but like it's definitely
He's making improvements, and
he's
I
making
like
improvements.
that.
But back onto the Jokic Giannis thing. I mean, Giannis, of course, for his two-way ability and all of that,
Mhm,
and then Jokic. I mean, when you win the MVP 2 times in a row, I mean, you got to be one of the best players in
yeah.
the league.
for sure.
Um,
His passing is just next level.
right. He might not be the greatest passer in the league, but like for someone of his size, I've never seen someone be able to pass like that. Like
Like
he's
I wouldn't be able to do those kind of stuff.
right. He's a guard in a big man's body, and it's really wild to me. He has a very entertaining way he plays the game. Maybe not to watch, but just thinking about the fact that Jokic is a 7-footer, slow, unathletic dude who's putting up 28, 13, and 8 in the NBA with his elite passing and shooting and finishing too. He's really good as a finisher.
He's
Post
good as a
scoring,
finisher, just like making those weird, as I mentioned earlier, tough shots.
you're right. Tough
But they go
layups that
in.
you're just
But
right.
they
Tough
just go in.
layups that you're just like, why are you taking the shot and why did it go in? But he does a lot of little things that a lot of guys just can't do, and it's really cool to watch him play the way he does.
I'm glad to have him on my team because it's great having the MVP or two back-to-back MVP. But it just sucks because you guys suck. You guys lost to the Warriors. It's just gonna be tough having to deal with them.
I really do hope Jokic does win a championship, because if he doesn't,
Sure.
he's gonna end up as one of the most disrespected players of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Just because people are gonna be like, how is this guy gonna have 2 MVPs but never won a championship? I mean, we see it with Steve Nash. Steve Nash always gets hate for the fact that he stole Kobe's MVP one time. When again, even then, I don't think he stole Kobe's MVP, because it's just like he was the best player on the best team, and he just happened to not win the championship that year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a regular season award, and in the regular season, he was the best player on the far and above best team in the league. Like, that's just me though.
Yeah, I can see that. That's all I gotta say about Jokic and NBA. He deserves it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Gobert saying he can guard Shaq.
Yeah, that was kind of wild. That was rather wild. Saying he could lock Shaq up was kind of insane. Rudy Gobert could not guard Shaq. No one could guard
In no
Shaq.
Generation. No one's guarding him.
The only guy who I think could even try to have a chance at guarding him is Giannis. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and even then they're both gonna just give each other buckets. Like, that's all that I can see though. Like, just Giannis maybe, because he's more athletic than Gobert. Right. Rudy Gobert cannot guard Shaq.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's funny because now that Rudy Gobert said that, everyone's posting these clips of him getting cooked by other centers. Like, there's this highlight reel of just Jokic dropping 48 on him, and it's just like,
no, because what's it called? I saw this little thing. It was slides on Instagram. It was like Gobert saying, and I quote, "I got him.
Oh, that's the video I'm talking about. I got him. I have 48, brother. Like,
no, you don't.
You don't got him. Switch the matchup, coach. But yeah, he could not guard Shaq. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert cannot guard Shaq. I mean, there's been games where he couldn't guard Ben Simmons. Like,
no, because Trey Mann had like a 40 piece on him.
Yeah,
he's a guard.
Like, I don't know about that, Rudy. I don't know if he can guard Shaq. I'm not sure. Maybe he feels like he can guard Shaq in a one-on-one scenario.
Like just a one-on-one park, that type.
But I don't know how much that matters though, because there's a lot of NBA players who could guard Shaq one-on-one. Like, he's not no shooter like that.
If it's in game, that's obviously going to be different, because I think he'll get cooked.
Yeah, he can't guard Shaq at the end of the day. At the end of the day, he can't guard Shaq.
That's all I gotta say for the NBA.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we're not forgetting anything.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mention this in the Grizzlies Maverick or in the Grizzlies Warriors thing. But Ja is out for the series
he's
about the minimum, but he's out for the playoffs. So that's it for the Grizzlies season, which is unfortunate.
No, I think you mentioned that. Yeah, you mentioned that.
Oh, okay. Just want to make sure. There's one rumor going around that I just saw on Hooper.
Oh, Donovan Mitchell
to the Heat or the Hawks, and I don't like either of those teams.
I don't see that.
I mean, the Heat I see more so just because they have good depth already. I mean, they need a shot creator, but the thing is, they
already partially have that in Oladipo.
In Tyler Hero as well. Tyler Hero is an elite shot creator.
I don't see a point in them taking away both of the trade's most likely going to be Tyler Hero and Oladipo for Dawn
and picks.
Yeah, and picks. because they don't want to just trade Don and get nothing in return because that's not how trades work.
At the bare minimum, they're getting Tyler Hero. It would have to be
Yeah,
Donovan Mitchell for Tyler Hero. There'd be no way they could do the trade without it being at
and
least that.
first too,
Right.
because I'm throwing that first in.
Yeah,
I
because
would want a lot for Donovan Mitchell.
at the and to be real, the Jazz would probably much rather trade for what's his name, Bam Adebayo. If they could do Donovan Mitchell for Bam Adebayo and some picks, they would probably do that over doing Tyler Hero just because Bam is just more established. This is assuming that they were to go like full rebuild mode and Rudy Gobert wasn't there anymore. Because if they had Rudy and then they traded for Bam, it wouldn't make sense. But assuming they were to go full rebuild, have already did a Rudy Gobert trade, and then after the fact,
they need to get rid of someone this offseason. I don't care who it is.
It's not working.
Someone. Because Gobert isn't versatile. Hold on. A Gobert for Andrew Wiggins trade. I think that would work out.
But why the Warriors want Gobert? I mean, it would work out contractually, but I don't think the Warriors will want Rudy Gobert. The thing is, I don't know what team would want Rudy Gobert.
Nobody would want him.
The only team that I could see taking Rudy Gobert, and not the only team, but this is the first team I think of. I could see the Thunder taking Rudy Gobert. I mean, we need a big at the moment in general, and the Thunder also like taking big contracts and then flipping the big contracts. Like Al Horford was someone who was on one of the worst contracts in the league, what was considered one of the worst contracts in the league, and then we flipped him. Chris Paul, someone who was on the Thunder and was considered one of the worst contracts in the league, and we flipped him at the time, and now he's one of the best players in the league. Unrelated. Actually, no, this is actually kind of funny because Chris Paul was considered one of the worst contracts in the league, and then he got traded for Russell Westbrook, who is now considered one of the worst contracts in the league. So it's like,
I mean, John Wall's also, he's always injured.
Yeah, John Wall is probably the worst contract in the league is John Wall because he just doesn't play at the moment, and he's getting paid. He's like the second or third highest paid player in the league. I'm trying to think of other teams that might want Rudy. I mean, the Hawks, I guess, but they already have Clint, who's a little bit more versatile than Rudy.
I can't think of anyone who wants him or that can need him.
I mean, like his defense is really good, but it's just like his contract is insanely high.
Yeah.
So it's just like to get just a rim protector really at his core play style to just be a rim protector and to be getting paid like max contract money, that is not gonna be, worth anything you could really see in him. Because he's not a post scorer. He's not a floor spacer.
He just blocks the rim.
Right. He can't step out on the perimeter. He just guards the paint pretty much. But yeah, I think that is everything for the NBA. I don't think we're going to think of anything else. I'm going to check one last time.
That's all that I saw.
Sure. Oh, you checked already?
Yeah.
Steve Kerr, hopefully he gets better soon. He's probably done coaching for the series. But that's fine now because the series is most likely going to be over after next game, and he'll have a break before the next series. I'm trying to make sure nothing else. I'm gonna check the score of the Heat Sixers game. Oh, the game is over. Heat's won by a good 35 points.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna check the box score just for a last little thing we could talk about. Embiid did nothing for the rest of the game. He didn't score in the fourth quarter.
Oh, wow.
Danny Green, 2 for 4, I guess. Tobias Harris wasn't efficient. Tyrese Maxey was really bad this game.
Yeah, it honestly just comes down to efficiency.
Yeah, James Harden wasn't very efficient.
That they don't need to score much. They just need to stop you. That's it.
Exactly. And then when they get stops, they're able to get on fast breaks, and that's when they get the 120 points. For the Heat, PJ Tucker, 10 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. Jimmy Butler, 23, 12 for Bam, 15 for Gabe Vincent, 19 for Max Strus, 13 for Vio, 10 for Tyler Hero, all of which were efficient. Then we saw these other guys just got PT because they were up by so much. Like Duncan Robinson got 14 minutes in the fourth. It had to be in the fourth quarter because he played 5 throughout the whole game. And he must have gotten the other 9 minutes just in the fourth quarter.
Turnovers are an issue for the Sixers.
How many turnovers did they have? 36? Oh, no, that's rebounds.
11.
Yeah, those turnovers are going to – I mean, it's 4
Harden
turnovers.
is averaging James Harden's averaging like 4 turnovers per game.
Yeah, it's not ideal at the moment. But now they got to go back to. Actually, no. Yeah, they're staying in Miami. I brought this up earlier, so they're staying home,
Yeah.
and yeah, they're staying home, and it is actually no. Am I tripping? Were they up two? Was this series 2-2 already? No. Okay,
It
yeah, I'm
was
not. It was
tied.
2-2 as is.
It was tied
Now
2-2.
it's 3-2. Okay, because
It's
on
game
ESPN
5.
it
Yeah,
says
now it's
2-2
3-2.
still.
Yeah,
So I
just give
was
it a
like,
second to update. It'll
yeah.
update. Yeah.
But yeah, Heat are up by a game, and now they're staying home in Miami to hopefully close it out. And I think they will, because Miami doesn't seem like the type to choke a
Yeah.
lead.
They have the veteran experience, coaching.
Yeah.
It's all there. The recipe you need.
Chemistry.
Oh, for sure on switches. Let me get me
Yeah,
started on that.
they definitely all buy into the defensive side of the ball. You want to go NFL real quick so we can
Sure.
cover some of those things?
Tom Brady. Want to be a
Congrats.
broadcaster after
Congrats to him.
retires.
350 mil contract.
I think he'll be great. As long as he's honest, it'll be so entertaining.
Right, because the thing is, he's supposed to be a commentator as soon as he retires, right? He's going to be talking about guys he's gone against. Because usually a lot of guys take a break and then they come into commentate. Like even Peyton Manning.
He's not taking a break.
he's just going straight into it. So it'd be like, I was going against Lamar Jackson per se. It'll just be fun to hear Tom Brady. Because
I've noticed this guy's technique. He always bites on this. And then that's why I pitched up.
Bro got startled?
That's why I hitched up and threw it deep.
Yeah.
Know?
What's it called? I had something I was gonna say. No, but Tom. Usually, a lot of guys will take a little break. Like Peyton Manning took a little break.
Hold on, give me a second.
Go ahead. Peyton Manning took a little break in between him doing the little Monday Night Football thing with Eli, and now, and there's not that same like irony to it, to the fact that he just played with that guy. Another thing is honestly, when I was younger, I used to really not like Tom Brady. I think it was just because he was labeled as like a cheater or anything. Tom Brady seems like a cool guy. I think specifically once he got to Tampa, he became a lot more like personable, cool as a guy.
He became more like likable, I guess, because it's that New England chemistry, not chemistry, but like that presence that you just don't like Patriots fans because they won so much.
Yeah.
And Bill Belichick always serious.
Yeah, they're just
Those
not
shorts
cool.
that are
They're
super
just
low, like they're just so serious all the time. And then like his dog was doing the draft for him, like
Yeah, like there's a lot going on in New England. But congrats to Tom. I can't wait to watch him do do commentary. I don't know when he's gonna retire. You say that again?
He's gonna be doing analytics.
Yeah, I don't know when he's gonna retire, but yeah. So whenever he does decide to, hang up the cleats, like for actually this time,
he'll be great.
It'll be good to watch. It'll be fun to watch.
Oh, speaking of analytics, I would like to see JJ Redick in on some NBA stuff.
Yeah, he
talk show, and it's I like it.
The what's it called? The Old Man in the Three?
The Old Man in the Three, yeah.
I love the Old Man in the Three. He always has good interviews. He had an interview with Jason Tatum that I thought specifically was really good. I mean, he's on ESPN a little bit, but I think
he needs to be there more.
I think Stephen A needs to be there less. Like I think that's what it is. I think ESPN needs to stay away from.
I think they have Stephen A there to be that guy, so he gets flamed intentionally, giving them more views.
Right. No, that's what it is.
That's his sole purpose.
I just don't like that for sports media. That's why, for me, because I want to be a sports analyst, and when the future, that's why I have the podcast. That's my goal, at least. But I just feel like I would rather do my own podcast where neither of us are just saying blasphemous things, just for the sake of saying it, and we're having
things are just a normal conversation and things actually make sense.
Right. And even if someone gets something wrong, it's one of us will correct the other person, and we're having a genuine dialect and conversation. And we're not trying to act like we're
yelling at each other or like raising your voice will get your point across, which it doesn't.
It doesn't at all. Saying things louder doesn't mean you're saying things smarter.
Like how Stephen A is known for saying like blasphemy at like
Yeah,
a super high tone. It's
right. He's not a good analyst. I'm not gonna lie. He's a very typically when there's those specifically for the generation before us, they had analysts who they looked up to and they're like, yeah, I want to do what they do. For me,
Mhm.
I want to be nothing like Stephen A. Smith. I don't like
Yeah.
him as an analyst. Same thing with Colin Cowherd. I think he's a bad analyst. I don't like Skip Bayless. I don't like Shannon Sharp. Ryan Holland sucks. Paul Pierce, who you would expect to be a better analyst since he played in the NBA and he was actually a really good player in the NBA. He
Mhm.
is not a great analyst. The only analysts who seem to be good at their job is the guys at TNT. Chuck, Ernie,
Ocho has a podcast, I think, with someone. I forgot who it was.
Ocho Cinco.
Yeah, Ocho.
He has that podcast where they're in the barber shop or something, and LeBron be
Yeah.
on there sometimes, and they're with that one
Yeah.
dude from the NFL. He's like a safety
Mhm.
or something. He played for the Bengals.
Yeah.
Yeah, their
I like that.
podcast is pretty
It's fun.
good. Who else has a good podcast as far as NBA media? Oh, Through the Wire. They're
Oh
just
yeah.
their come
That's
up has
pretty much
been
what we're
crazy.
based off of.
Yeah, Through the Wire is definitely my biggest influence. Kenny and them,
Sure.
they're my biggest influence probably. YouTube's running the NBA media game though at the
Mhm.
moment. Like Rusty Buckets, who I talked about earlier, he's good. Kenny, Pee Wee to plug, D Mills, all of the guys that Through the Wires.
On TikTok, there are these guys. They're called Stay Hot Podcast.
Stay Hot's
Love them.
blow up was insane.
Yeah.
I was just on Twitter actually the other day, and Spawnhauer,
Yeah.
Paul, white dude, brown hair,
Mhm.
not Matt, but the other dude. But
Mhm.
he's verified on Twitter now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they like literally last year they were just making videos all on TikTok. Neither of them had huge followings, and now they have the biggest podcast on
Bladen K,
Spotify.
he also makes music.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I saw. Oh, that's cool. I also saw they have a set now, or at least for one podcast, they had a
Yeah.
official set, and it actually looks really good. I'm not gonna lie. So shout out to those guys. They're solid. Who else is running it? In the NFL, there's this guy called what's his name? Brett something. I don't know, but he makes really good deep dives on the NFL.
Mhm.
Bengal, Giants fan, even though his YouTube name is Bengal, he does a lot of good stuff for the community. There's this guy on YouTube called Floor and Ceiling who we're using for a video that we got going on
Mhm.
next Wednesday. Who he's very informed. I just
He's
like
very in detail.
right. I like where the NBA media is outside of like TV is right now. I'm happy with a lot of the things I'm seeing.
For sure.
But shout out to all those guys. Hopefully we can get to where some of them are. That's the goal.
That'd be great. Anything else to talk? Oh, Giants cut James Bradbury.
Oh yeah, I liked James Bradbury. I didn't have a crazy connection to him because he only played for 2 years, and last year he wasn't even all that great.
Just
And
his
it was a contract thing.
Yeah, he's
And
old.
I know a lot of Giants fans are upset because we cut him just because of the namesake of who James Bradbury is, but it makes a lot of sense. I'm fine with the move. We're just gonna need a corner next year. So Adoree Jackson's just gonna have to step up this year. We drafted a corner, I feel like. Giants. I feel like we drafted some corner in like the 4th or 5th round, but I don't know their name off the top of my head. But
I think the Raiders should pick up James Bradbury though.
there's already
If
been
we have
rumors
the
that they're
cap space
interested.
to do it. But that's of course if we can afford him. But
Right.
the Raiders need secondary obviously to help out whoever they have back there, Trayvon Moehrig.
Yeah.
The pressure from Max Crosby, it has to come up to something, force a pass.
Right.
Because as we've seen in the wild card game, was it the wild card game?
Bengals against the Bengals or the
Nah.
Chargers game?
The Chargers game. That was week 17, I think.
Yeah, last game of the season.
Bro, the pressure was insane, but Justin Herbert just created his own, like, I don't know. He's just so good.
Secondary is
He can
terrible.
create it himself.
Like
Yeah.
that, you guys should have lost that game. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Yeah.
the amount, especially on that
The amount of
last
fourth
drive,
downs that we've given up
on
was
the last
horrible.
drive was wild.
It was
I
like
just about
4th
to
and
say that.
20, and then he just slings it for like
Yeah.
30, and then it's crazy.
Yeah, nah, that's unacceptable. As I said earlier, I think we drafted the corner. We did. We drafted Cordell Flott, cornerback LSU, in the 3rd round at number 81. So I definitely expect him to get a lot more PT than he probably would have had James Bradbury still been on the roster.
Especially being a corner out of LSU, DBU.
Yeah, LSU is DBU. But what's it called? It kind of sucks a little bit to see some of the Giants players who I do have some sort of connection with, even though they're kind of bad,
Yeah.
leave the team. Like Evan Ingram, who again has his dropping issue. I always liked Evan Ingram. I thought he was
Mhm.
solid, I guess. But he's now a Jag. Um, James Bradbury is off the team. Daniel Jones, this is most likely his last year. Odell's not here no more. Uh, like it kind
Dang,
of
we're
sucks a
still
little bit.
depressed Giants fan.
Yeah, but the thing is, we have guys that right now that I like still. Like we have
Mhm.
Kadarius Toney, who I like.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm going to be a big Kayvon Thibodeau guy because he's now a
Mhm.
Giant. Um,
He got
eh,
5. He
yeah,
paid
his
50K for,
number 5, and he paid 50K for his number.
which went to donations for
Puppies and
I think
cages.
puppies and cages. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Evan Neal, I'm going to be a fan of him. All the guys we drafted this year. Wandale Robinson out of Kentucky, who's similar to Kadarius Toney in his play style. Sterling Shepard is someone that I like. Um, hopefully, what's his name? Not Golden Tate. That's another washed receiver we signed.
Mhm.
Kenny Galladay. Hopefully, he
I
can play
think
better next year.
he should do better.
Just
At
because
this
our
time, just
scheming is
he
going to be
should do
much
better.
better.
Because Daniel Jones, he had, I think, not last year, but the year before, he had the best deep ball accuracy in the league.
Hmm.
And Kenny Galladay is a deep threat. He
Yeah,
will body up and get that ball. But
the thing is,
it's just
Jason
a matter
Garrett
of
just wasn't good
designing
at.
those schemes for
Yeah,
that.
Jason Garrett was not good at designing good deep ball concepts that
Mhm.
utilized our players in the right way.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can see um, the most out of both Daniel Jones and Kenny Galladay. But yeah, I'm really happy with where the Giants are at the moment.
Yeah.
I can't complain. We brought in a bunch of O linemen through free agency. We drafted some O linemen in the draft. We got one of the best edges in the draft. Brought in a receiver. We were all in on helping Daniel Jones this year, and actually,
I
I
like where you
remember.
guys are set up right now.
Yeah, remember how we were talking last podcast about like how the Cardinals have a really hard schedule?
Yeah.
The literal list about like strength of schedule in the NFL.
Oh, isn't it
Um,
like the whole NFC East is first?
mm-mm. Or like we have the easiest schedule. The
Yeah.
Cowboys have the literal
First and
easiest
easiest. Yeah.
schedule. Eagles, I think, are second easiest. We're 29th. We have the third easiest schedule in the
Oh,
whole NFL.
yeah.
So, I mean, like, I'll take it. Like,
Yeah.
hopefully, we can take advantage of the easier matchups, and I would like to see us at least be competitive, even if we
Mhm.
end up losing the games. If we could be competitive in them and put a entertaining performance on the field
I
from
think
week
it's
to
more
week.
developing your guys as players,
Right.
figuring out how
I'm
to
not
run.
expecting us to make the playoffs or anything like
Yeah.
that. I'm not one of those fans who are just gonna expect the most out of his team just because they made a couple moves that are good.
Mhm.
But I do want to see us play better than last year, which should be easy considering for like the last month of the season we were easily like the worst team in the league.
Mhm.
Like literally on power rankings, we were below the Jaguars, who had Urban Meyer as their coach for half of the season. So
Oh, their kicker. He's
Josh
filed a
Lambo,
lawsuit. Yeah, he's
Chargers
filed a
legend,
lawsuit against
Max.
Urban Meyer because he
Yeah, no, that was wild. Urban Meyer, he's no longer coaching anymore.
something else.
Yeah, definitely one of the weirdest experiences I've ever seen. And the Jaguars really nearly fumbled the bag with the Trevor Lawrence thing.
Yeah.
So hopefully this year they can actually, do
Turn it
something to
around.
help him, right?
Help him.
So they don't fumble one of the best quarterback prospects we've seen in like the last 5-6 years.
My hopes for the Raiders are, I don't know. It's gonna be tough because the season opener is against the Denver Broncos on a Monday Night Football game,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the first game of the year.
Oh, you guys have the first game?
We have the first game, prime time, and it's gonna be tough because the quarterback situation, not what we have, but what we're going against, and then their weapons. I'm worried about that because we don't have corners to stop
Right,
those receivers, or at least slow them down.
right. A lot. I mean, that's a long time from now, though. A lot can happen because when's the opening of the season? Like September, last week of August, first week of
August. Yeah,
last week of August or so, or at least
Mhm.
when the regular season starts, because no one
Yeah.
cares about the
No one
preseason.
cares about preseason.
Like they really should just get rid of the preseason.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's to see
I get
it's
its
to see the players
purpose.
that are about to get cut,
I get
like
its
to
purpose,
fill
of
your
course.
53-man roster, so you
It's
can make
just boring. I mean,
Yeah.
preseason football is definitely more exciting than preseason basketball, though.
No, so I think it's for like those fans who want to know everything about people.
No, definitely. Like as for me, I don't like as of. Here's the thing. As far as a fan of my teams, my fandom has grown in the last few years. Like I went from being a casual fan of the team, just like
Hmm.
this is the team I root for. If they're doing good, I'm doing good,
Yeah.
to a more average fan where I go out of my way to watch at least most of the games. But especially with the podcast, and just because I have taken a more interest into the sport in general, I do see myself watching the preseason and trying
Hmm.
to, for the Giants specifically, I do want to this year try and watch every game.
Yeah.
That can be tough though because
Some are blacked out. I don't know why. Or like they're just not televised.
right, I mean we are the Giants. I'll
Yeah.
just have to find time to be able to watch my team, but I'm gonna try and make more of an effort to watch my team. For basketball, I definitely want to do that as well because
Hmm.
again, that's about 82 games. It's hard to
It's hard to
motivate
watch
yourself.
all of them.
It's hard to motivate yourself to watch all of them too because it's like there's going to be another one in 2 days. Why do I need to watch this one?
Yeah.
More so with the NFL, it's like, okay, this game really matters because we only have 16 more after this.
Hmm.
But I do want to see myself watch more games. And I think what you said, the preseason is for fans who are more into that. And I think I could see myself being one of those.
Becoming one of those fans.
Yeah, just because I am really invested in some of the moves we've made throughout the offseason.
Yeah. Like I'm obviously gonna watch some of it because we made free agency moves,
Yeah,
but
but
they're not gonna play much.
right.
It's only
Typically, the
five.
guys you're looking for aren't going to really play in
Yeah.
the preseason. I think I'm going to have more guys who play in the preseason, like someone like
Mhm.
Wandale Robinson, who's at this point I would probably say he's like the fourth or fifth string receiver.
Mhm.
Um, he'll get some PT in the preseason. I'll be able to watch him and see how he plays.
Mhm.
Cordell Flott, who's our corner I was just mentioning, we'll get to see him. And then some of the O-line guys. I don't expect Kayvon Thibodeau or Evan Neal to play much, but Joshua Ezeudu out of North Carolina, he'll probably get some playing time in the preseason.
Mhm.
So I definitely see a little bit more of an interest in the preseason this year.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, we had a lot of just random conversations about a bunch
Yeah.
of things. I'm not gonna lie, but that's good. That's good.
Mhm.
That's what it's about. It's gonna be entertaining to watch this, definitely. But
Sure.
we'll definitely be back Sunday.
Saturday.
Saturday. I always get
Yeah, Saturday.
mixed up. Sunday, Saturday. We will be back Saturday with another episode. That'll be episode number 5. Expect more of. I don't want to say more of the same, but more
Playoff
playoffs
content.
and more NFL stuff. But starting Wednesday next week and going forward, we're gonna kick it into overdrive for like more diverse content. I'm not gonna
Oh, I'd
spoil
like to
anything.
kick this in, or like just toss this in there. The Angels are going crazy yesterday against the
Oh,
Rays. Otani hit a home run. He hit 2 home runs actually. He hit a grand slam, and then Trout hit a home run, and then Otani hit one, and then like the next, like a few innings later, Otani hits a grand slam. It's just a great game they're playing right now. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Angels are first in their division.
hey,
Love it.
as someone who doesn't even watch baseball but knows how bad the Angels are, I applaud you, bro. Because the Angels, I don't even watch baseball, but I know that the Angels are just always bad. Like,
Yeah.
but
They're known for like wasting MVPs' careers, like
right,
Trout and Otani.
yeah. But it's good that you guys are capitalizing on that, and hopefully you guys, even if you guys don't win it all, hopefully you guys can just
It's
be
going to be more entertaining.
entertaining to watch. Definitely.
Yes,
You know what?
that's
We gotta go to a baseball game.
for sure.
That would be a good video. I'm not gonna lie to you. A
Mhm.
baseball game vlog, and it
It's
should
just
be
go ahead.
a Padres Angels game would be kind of fire.
That's unfortunate because they don't play each other.
For the rest of the season, it's
They
over.
don't. They don't play each other. Period. They didn't play each other. They don't
What?
play each other ever. I don't know how. There's
It's
162 games in a
62 games, but they don't play the
Yeah,
Angels
but they don't play
ever.
each other ever. Like not even at Anaheim or in San Diego.
They never play each other.
Never.
Whoa, that's weird. That's wild. I cannot. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Like, I don't understand how the scheduling is that bad where you can't play every team.
At least once.
Yeah.
Yeah, that don't make no sense. But yeah, I mean, who else could we go watch? Who's going off in baseball right now?
Braves are low-key picking it up. Acuna is going bonkers.
I know they were struggling going in, but now they're starting to
Yeah.
get it back together.
The Blue Jays would also be a good game.
Padres, Blue Jays. Yeah, we got to go to a Padre game. That's going to be another thing we could do.
Yeah.
This isn't going to turn into a baseball podcast though. Like, but it'll be
just something
cool for content.
to post.
Right. But yeah, I think that concludes episode 4 of the Poverty Franchise Podcast. If you've stuck around this long, thank you for watching. This has been around an hour and 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. So we kind of stretched it out a bit, but I'm glad you guys are consistently sticking around because the numbers are looking consistent. So the people who have watched this episode, the ones before that, even if you are new, thank you for watching. It's greatly appreciated. And every subscription, comment, view matters. It just
drop hot takes, please, so we can react to those.
Right. Especially because the playoffs and NFL rumors. Sometimes it might not be the most to talk about, so we want to find other things to sprinkle in there. I have some ideas for things we could do that I'll talk with you about off screen. But yeah,
to address someone's comment, they commented about where's my Kings news.
We're not giving you Kings news, bro.
No, we will get that to you after the lottery.
Right.
That will be your news.
Once the lottery happens, we got you with some Kings content, bro. But here's what I got for you: Kings news. Kings head coach got hired and then coached the Warriors, and the Kings new head coach was the first coach to win a playoff game in like 20 years. So there's your Kings news, bro. But yeah, we'll get to the Kings next season and through the lottery and things like that. But I'm not talking about the Sacramento.
We'll get around them eventually.
Yeah, eventually we'll get to the Kings, bro. I like how the Kings are just an inside joke of like the team that we're just not. It's never the Pistons. It's never the Magic. It's the Kings. Mm-hmm. But that concludes today's episode, and we'll be back on Saturday. So see you guys later.